My brother's wife tried to seduce my husband, then told everyone I was just jealous of her, so I let her talk, and then showed everyone the screenshot she didn't know I had. You guys, I don't even know how to start this. Like, what do you even do when your brother's wife, the one who smiles at you across Thanksgiving dinner and calls you sis, starts flirting with your husband? And not even low-key. I'm talking late-night messages, tight tops at family gatherings, calling him handsome in front of me, and when I finally called her out, she flipped it, told our whole family I was jealous of her. The audacity should be illegal. But don't worry. I let her talk. Let her dig that hole deep. This all started way before the DMs and memes and weird passive-aggressive digs. It started the day my brother met his wife. Her name's Alina. And yeah, of course she's pretty. Like annoyingly pretty. Tall, perfect hair, fake natural lashes, that confident walk-in-like-you-in-the-place energy that people either admire or side-eye hard. I met her 3 years ago at a birthday dinner for my brother Josh. I walked in and saw this girl sitting next to him, laughing with her hand on his shoulder like she was already part of the family. And instantly I was like, okay then. But I didn't say anything. 'Cause at first she was nice. Not fake nice. Just polished. Kind of person who gives compliments that are technically flattering but still leave you second-guessing yourself. Like when I wore this green dress I love, she smiled and said, "You look amazing in that. I could never pull that off with my hips." Okay. My husband, Ryan, said he didn't notice anything weird. He actually thought she was cool and fun. And yeah, that's how it starts. Flash forward a year, Josh and Alina are married. It was a gorgeous wedding, I won't lie. Alina planned the whole thing like a Pinterest board came to life. I was one of the bridesmaids. And honestly, I tried to be close with her. I wanted to like her. I really did. But then things started getting weird. Like how she would text me about Ryan. At first it was innocent. "Ryan's so funny, he should start a podcast. You're so lucky, your man actually helps in the kitchen." But then it started shifting. One night we had everyone over for dinner. Alina wore this super low-cut top that I swear she had to tape in place. She leaned across Ryan like 5 times during dinner, laughing way too hard at his jokes. And again, I told myself to chill. I didn't want to be that girl who makes everything about her. But then Ryan showed me something that changed everything. He was scrolling through his phone and I saw her name pop up. A meme. Nothing too weird. But it was 2:03 a.m. I asked, "Why is she messaging you this late?" He said, "I don't know, she sends stuff like that all the time. I usually ignore it." That's when the gut feeling hit me. Like this wasn't random. This was intentional. I started watching her more closely. At family barbecues, she always found a way to sit next to Ryan. At game nights, she laughed at everything he said. When we went out in a group, she'd compliment his cologne. In front of me, I asked Ryan, "Are you noticing this?" He said, "Yeah, a little." I thought I was overthinking it. I said, "You're not. I've been seeing it too." We both agreed to be polite but distant, not feed into it. But then came the anniversary dinner. Ryan and I hit 5 years. We booked a reservation, got all dressed up, and went out. And guess who randomly showed up at the same place? Yup. Alina. Alone. Grabbing takeout. She walked right up to our table in a bodycon dress and heels like she'd just come from a Fashion Week after-party. OMG, what a coincidence. Girl, no it wasn't. She talked to Ryan the whole time. Didn't even look at me when I complimented her earrings. Just said thanks and turned right back to him. Ryan was uncomfortable, I could tell. I was livid. The next day, I decided I'd had enough. So after the accidental dinner ambush where Alina showed up in full runway glam at the same restaurant where Ryan and I were celebrating our anniversary, I knew I couldn't let it slide. Like, girl, this wasn't a coincidence. This was an entrance. Ryan and I barely got through our meal. He was picking at his food, visibly tense. I was smiling through gritted teeth like I was in a hostage situation. And when we finally left, I looked at him and said, "Okay, I'm done pretending this is harmless." He nodded. "We need to talk to her." But the more I thought about it, the more I realized this needed to come from me. So 2 days later, I texted Alina, "Hey, you free for coffee this week? Just us." She replied in under 30 seconds. "Sure. Everything okay?" I said, "We'll talk." We met up at this little cafe near her place. She came in wearing her signature hot but casual look. Leggings, cropped hoodie, full lashes, glossy lips, and just enough highlighter to make her look like she'd been kissed by an expensive ring light. I wore jeans and a sweatshirt. I wasn't trying to perform. I was trying to end this. We ordered. Sat down. I didn't waste time. "I need to talk to you about Ryan." She blinked. Sipped her matcha like this was going to be some cute little gossip session. "What about him?" "I'm not stupid, Alina. I see how you act around him. I've seen the messages. I saw you show up to our anniversary dinner in that dress, acting like it was a casual pop-in." Her eyes widened, not in surprise. "In performance." "Wait, are you seriously jealous right now?" That was her first move. Projection. Classic. I stayed calm. "No, I'm seriously telling you to stop crossing boundaries with my husband. Late-night messages? Over-the-top flirting? Backhanded compliments? It's disrespectful. And I'm done pretending it's cute." She gave me this look like I just accused her of kicking puppies. "Wow, I didn't realize you were so insecure." That word. Insecure. It's what people like her use when they get caught. She kept going. I'm just naturally friendly. That's who I am. I'm sorry you see it as flirting, but maybe that says more about your relationship than mine. I leaned in. Friendly is a birthday card or a funny TikTok in the family group chat. Friendly is not DMs at 2:12 a.m. with memes that say, when he's married but fine AF. Yeah, that was real. She sent that. She went pale for a second, covered it with a laugh. It was a joke. Not to me. And not to Ryan. Then she flipped the script again. She crossed her arms and said, this is actually really hurtful. I've tried so hard to be your friend, to be close to you, and now you're accusing me of trying to steal your man? That's disgusting. I was stunned for a second, not because I believed her, but because she was so good at flipping it, like she'd practiced this, like she'd done this before. And here's where it gets even messier, because 3 hours after our conversation, my phone started blowing up. Texts from my cousin, call from my aunt, a cryptic "you good" from my mom. I open Instagram, and guess who just posted a story? Alina, black background, white text, the kind that screams, I want attention but want to look mature about it. It's always sad when women can't support each other. Jealousy is such a toxic trait, especially when you've only ever tried to love them like a sister. Y'all, I almost choked. This woman tried to seduce my husband, and now she's soft-launching me as a villain on social media? I texted her, take the story down. You know exactly what you're doing. She left me on read. I texted my brother, Josh. We need to talk. Call me when you're free. It's about Alina. He didn't reply for 2 days. When he finally did, it was just, Alina told me everything. I think it's best we take space right now. Space? So now she had my brother believing that I was the problem? That I was obsessed with her? That I was making up drama because I couldn't handle how beautiful and confident she was? Girl, bye. But fine. I let her keep talking. Let her build that little narrative. Let her stack her story higher and higher. Because what she didn't know is that Ryan had been saving everything. Every message. Every flirty comment. Every oops, didn't mean to send that meme. All neatly screenshotted. All time-stamped. And I was just waiting. So there I was, painted as the jealous, bitter sister-in-law who couldn't handle how stunning Alina was. She had her story locked and loaded. She was sending it to every family group chat like she was the victim of some Mean Girls spin-off, and I was the insecure wife who misread every interaction. She even texted my mom. I'm really hurt by what she said. I've never felt so attacked. I always looked up to her. Like, girl, you tried to seduce my husband and now you're talking about looking up to me? Anyway, I did what I always do when things get messy. I watched, waited, collected info. 'Cause the second I started defending myself too loudly, I knew it'd backfire. People love a silent woman, but they adore a scandal, and I was about to give them one. But first, some context. Ryan, my husband, is not dramatic. Like at all. He's that rare type of chill where if he says, this is weird, then it's not just weird. It's wrong. After the coffee meetup with Alina, I told him everything that happened, and he pulled up his phone and said, I've been saving these just in case. I didn't want to upset you if it didn't go anywhere, but now it's gone somewhere. He opened a folder labeled Alina. Inside were screenshots, voice messages. You know, if you weren't married to her, we'd totally have chemistry. Don't act like you don't feel it. Bro, I swear I almost threw his phone across the room. And Ryan, bless his heart, said, I didn't even respond. I just archived it. I stared at him for a full 5 seconds. You're telling me she sent you that and you didn't say anything back? He said, I didn't want to mess things up between Josh and you. I was hoping it'd stop. I hugged him. 'Cause honestly, I know how fragile family dynamics can get. But now that Alina was turning the whole family against me, that ship had sailed. Time for damage control. No, time for truth control. I didn't go nuclear right away. Instead, I let her story breathe. I let the group chat speculation bubble up. My cousin Maddie texted me. Are you okay? I don't want to pick sides, but like, this feels messy. I replied. I'm good. Let her talk. I've got the truth when people are ready for it. And then, Alina made a fatal mistake. She hosted a family game night at their place. Sent out a whole invite to the cousins, siblings, even my parents. Said she wanted to reconnect and clear the air. Ryan and I got the invite too. I looked at it and said, she thinks she's gonna control the room. Rewrite the whole narrative in person. Ryan said, so what do we do? I said, we go. Oh, and we bring screenshots. We showed up with a charcuterie board and polite smiles, because if we were going to dismantle her lies, we were going to look classy doing it. Game night started casual. Uno, chips, laughter. Alina was wearing this silk wrap dress that basically screamed look at me and had the nerve to compliment Ryan's haircut. In front of me. Again, you look so good with that fade. Honestly, your barber deserves a raise. Ryan smiled awkwardly, said thanks. Kept looking at me like, are we really doing this here? I nodded. We are. Halfway through the night, while everyone was sipping drinks and halfway tipsy, Alina stood up and said, I just want to take a second to say thank you for being here. It really means a lot. I know there's been tension lately, and I just want to say I love this family, even when it's hard. Oh, she was performing. My mom gave a little smile. My aunt nodded. Josh rubbed her back like she'd just delivered a eulogy. That's when I stood up. I said. Hey, since we're doing honesty hour, I've got something I think the family should see. Alina froze. Ryan pulled out his phone. The room went still, like you could hear the clock ticking. I pulled out my phone, tapped the folder labeled receipts. Ryan mirrored it on the TV screen, bless him for being extra, and said, "This won't take long, just a few things we thought the family should see," since Alina brought up tension. Alina's face. Y'all. She smiled, but her whole body tensed like she was clenching every bone in her body at once. Josh looked at her, then looked at me, then back at her. Wait, what is this? The first screenshot popped up. A DM, from Alina to Ryan. Sent at 2:12 a.m. This reminded me of you, with a meme of a shirtless guy holding a bouquet and the caption, "Husband material but belongs to someone else." People in the room literally gasped. Ryan said, "Here's the thing." I never replied. I ignored it, but it kept happening. Next slide. A voice note. Alina's voice, clear as day. "You're honestly way too hot to be stuck in a boring marriage. Like if I ever get divorced, I swear I'd call you first." The whole room was silent. Alina jumped up like she just sat on a cactus. "This is so out of context. That was a joke. We were all drinking that night, I didn't mean." I cut her off. "There's more. Let's keep going." Next screenshot. "Don't tell her I said this, but sometimes I wonder what it'd be like if we'd met first. You're just my type." Sent at 1:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. My mom covered her mouth. My cousin Maddie looked like she was watching a Netflix drama unfold live in her living room. And Josh? He was just staring at the screen, blinking like he couldn't process it. "Alina, what the F is this?" Side note, he didn't say the actual F word, but he meant it. She started pacing, rambling. "These are just messages. Everyone flirts a little. It's not like I actually did anything. Ryan never said no." Pause. Ryan stood up. "Actually, I did. Every single time. I just didn't want to blow it up. But then you started turning it on her, making her look crazy." He turned to Josh. "I love your sister. I would never cross that line. But your wife tried." Repeatedly. Alina was spiraling. Tears. Rage. "Daniil, you're twisting this. You're all jealous because I'm younger and pretty and..." I held up my hand. "Stop. Just stop. This isn't about how you look. This is about how you act. You played everyone. You made me out to be obsessed with you when the truth is, you were obsessed with getting attention, even from people who were off limits." The final slide? A screen recording of her unsending multiple messages to Ryan. Timestamped. Erased days after our coffee meetup. I looked around the room. She knew what she was doing. And when I confronted her in private, she spun it into a pity party. My aunt said softly, "This is so much." Josh didn't say a word. Just stood up, walked out of the room, and slammed the door behind him. Alina stood there in total silence, mascara starting to smudge. She looked at me. No more fake smiles, no more confident posture. Just exposed. I packed up my things, took Ryan's hand, and said, "Y'all have fun with the rest of game night." And we left. That night I felt free. I told the truth. I did it calmly. I didn't stoop to her level. And now the mask was off. But what happened next? Let's just say Alina didn't go down without trying to save her image. And Josh? Yeah, he had a meltdown of his own. So we leave. We drop the screenshots, pack our stuff, and bounce like we just shut down a bad reality show reunion. I'm not even kidding. Ryan and I got in the car, and the second the doors closed, we both just exhaled. "Holy crap," he muttered. "Yup," I said. "We really just did that." But then silence. No calls. No texts. No thank you for telling us the truth or sorry we didn't believe you. It was just weird. Until the next day when Josh finally called. And this man sounded wrecked. I don't know what to say. I just didn't want to believe it. He sounded like someone had unplugged his whole personality. Like the voice version of sitting in the dark with a blanket and no thoughts. "I get it," I told him. I didn't want to believe it either. He asked for time. Said he needed space to think. Didn't even ask me for the screenshots. Said he remembered the voice message. That one really broke him. He was still processing. Meanwhile, Alina was rebranding in real time. She posted a story the next morning. "Sometimes people will go to wild lengths to ruin your peace. Stay grounded. Stay soft. Still growing. Bro, growing? You tried to flirt your way into my marriage and then gaslight me in group chats, and now you're quoting Pinterest about peace?" I rolled my eyes so hard I got a headache. And my mom? She finally called me that evening. It was that slow, careful kind of voice moms use when they're trying to calm a cat before clipping its claws. "Hey, honey, so I just want to say I saw everything at the party. It was a lot. I waited." She kept going. I wish it hadn't gone down like that. Josh is devastated. And Alina is saying she feels ganged up on. Yeah? Okay. "Mom," I said, "she spent months trying to manipulate my husband. She turned everyone against me when I confronted her privately. I gave her every chance to walk it back." Mom sighed. "I know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just feel like this could have been handled quieter." And that is when I realized something. People don't care when you're hurt. They care when your hurt makes them uncomfortable. Because when I was quiet, being gaslit and called obsessed, nobody had a problem. But the moment I defended myself out loud, Now I'm the one who made it a scene. Nah, not doing that. Ryan backed me the whole time. You handled it like a lawyer, he said. You could have screamed. You didn't. You laid it all out. I appreciated that. But guess who I didn't hear from? Alina. Not an apology. Not a fake sorry. Not even a you misread it follow-up. Just cryptic Instagram quotes and subtle healing posts with flowers and candles. Josh, meanwhile, kind of disappeared. I think he was embarrassed. Not just about what Alina did, but that he defended her for so long. Maddie, my cousin, messaged me again. Okay, I fully owe you an apology. That was wild. I legit thought you were overreacting. I'm sorry. I appreciated that. 'Cause some people did come around. Not everyone. But enough. A few days later, Ryan and I got invited to a barbecue at my aunt's place. I wasn't sure we should go, but Ryan said, let's go, we've got nothing to hide. So we went. And I could feel it the second we walked in, the whispers, that's her energy. But I didn't shrink. I grabbed a soda, said hi to everyone, and sat down next to my uncle like I owned the patio. Alina didn't come. Josh did. Alone. He looked tired. Like, emotionally hungover. He sat next to me after a while and said, I don't know what I'm doing. I just nodded. That's okay. You'll figure it out. We didn't need to say much more. Some things just shift. And you either grow from them or you get stuck. Alina? She wasn't done trying to save face. And what she pulled next? Oh, it backfired hard. You ever watch someone flail in real time? Like watching a toddler try to cover up a mess by making an even bigger mess? That was Alina. After game night, she went full redemption arc on social media. Therapy quotes. Healing hashtags. Even reposted that one TikTok about being the villain in someone else's story with the caption, just trying to grow. Not perfect. Just human. Girl, you are not the main character in an A24 film. But hey, I left her alone. Josh had gone quiet again, and honestly, I felt for him. He didn't deserve what she did. But I also wasn't going to chase him down and try to fix something I didn't break. Meanwhile, Ryan and I were finally breathing again. No tension. No weird glances. No, is she gonna be there energy every time we went to a family event. Just peace. Until one morning, Ryan shook me awake. At 7:30 a.m. On a Sunday. You need to see this. My brain was still rebooting, but I sat up and looked at his phone. A message. From Alina. Sent at 3:14 a.m. Hey, I know I probably shouldn't text you, but I can't stop thinking about how you never answered that voice note. You probably think I'm crazy, but I swear it was real. The way you looked at me, even if it was just once. I know you felt it. I'm sorry I was sloppy. I was hurting too. Please don't tell her I sent this. I sat there, literally frozen. You didn't respond, right? I asked. Ryan, not even a period. I stared at the message again. She really thought he felt it. She really thought she could slither back in after all that, like some seductive phoenix rising from the ashes of her own mess. Send it to me, I told him. He airdropped it. Timestamp. Screenshot. My name in the CC. I didn't say a word. Just opened up my group chat with Josh and dropped the image like a mic. 5 minutes later, no response. 10 minutes. Nothing. Then finally, he replies. I can't believe this. Not she's lying. Not let me talk to her. Just pure shock. I said. Believe it. And believe this too, we were willing to let this die quietly. But she doesn't want quiet. She wants chaos. He said. I'm done. That's when I knew something broke in him. Because no matter how much he loved her, this was twice. Twice she came after Ryan. Twice she tried to turn me into the villain. Twice she underestimated the fact that I keep everything. A few days later, Alina messaged me. Just a single message. I guess you got what you wanted. Hope it was worth it. Oh, honey. What I wanted was peace. What I got was truth. And yes, it was absolutely worth it. I left her on read. From what I heard later, she moved back in with her mom. Josh filed for a legal separation. They didn't announce it. Didn't post about it. Alina deleted her Instagram for a while. Reappeared with a profile photo of a sunset and the bio. Healing. Please be kind. The audacity. The Olympic-level audacity. Josh slowly started coming back around. He apologized. Properly. Said he was ashamed of how long he defended her. Said he felt like he got played by his own wife and betrayed his own sister. I told him, you weren't the only one she manipulated, but I'm glad you're seeing it now. Family's tricky. Sometimes it's not just about right and wrong. It's about timing and willingness to see people for who they really are, not who we wish they were. And Alina? She showed herself. Over and over. But don't worry. We're not done yet. So I thought back. You know how sometimes after everything blows up, your brain starts playing the highlight reel of every red flag you missed? Yeah, mine started like that one TikTok sound. And now a compilation of all the BS I ignored. And you know what kept coming up? The wedding. My wedding. The first time Alina ever met Ryan in person. At the time, she and Josh were on a break. One of those were not really together but still kind of hanging out things. Like, you know the type. She wasn't even officially invited. Josh asked if he could bring a friend and I was like, sure, whatever. So Alina shows up to my wedding in a white jumpsuit. Not ivory. Not beige. White. with a deep V, and I remember thinking, huh, bold, but I was too distracted to care. It was my day, but Ryan, he remembers it very clearly. She cornered me at the bar, he told me. Asked how I put up with you being so type A. I blinked, she said what? I laughed it off, thought maybe she was joking. She followed it up with, you could do with someone who helps you loosen up. Y'all, my wedding day. She was already planting seeds, and I didn't even see it. Ryan said he brushed it off because, who hits on someone at their own wedding? Apparently, Alina does. And after that, there were little things, like how she always found a way to stand next to Ryan in group photos, or how she'd ask me weird questions like, do you ever worry he's too attractive? Like, don't you feel like other girls must always be checking him out? The time I thought she was just being Alina. Now I realize she was testing boundaries, poking the fence, seeing what she could get away with, even before she was officially family. And Josh? He was so busy being in love with the version of her she showed him. He never saw what the rest of us were picking up on. So when I confronted her that first time, when I said, I'm not stupid, I see what you're doing, I wasn't just reacting to the recent stuff. My gut had been screaming for years. But back then I ignored it, because she was just being friendly, because she's family now, because maybe I'm just being sensitive. Nope. Turns out I wasn't being sensitive. I was being conditioned to downplay a pattern that had been building since day one. Josh didn't know, but when I told him all of it, he just sat there, quiet. I wish I'd seen it earlier, he said. I told him. We all wanted to believe the best in her. You loved her. That's not something to feel stupid about. I meant it, 'cause even when people hurt us, that doesn't make us weak for trusting them. It makes them wrong for breaking that trust. And Alina? She broke it like it was nothing. The more I looked back, the more I realized she wasn't just insecure or flirty. She was strategic, calculated, always testing how far she could go without getting caught, and when she did get caught, she flipped it and cried victim. But I wasn't playing her game anymore. And the next part? That's when karma showed up, in the form of a mutual friend who'd been quiet this whole time until now. It started with a message request. Random username, no profile picture. Hey, this might be weird, but I used to know Alina. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. Person introduced herself as Carly, said she used to work with Alina at this luxury boutique back in the day. Like years before Alina ever met Josh. I saw your story a few weeks ago. Didn't want to get involved. But then my friend sent me that clip of her quote about being the villain in someone else's story. I just had to say something. I was curious but cautious. Okay, I replied. Say what? Y'all. She sent me a whole voice note. 2 minutes of unfiltered tea. She did the exact same thing at our job. Slept with one of the manager's fiancés. Lied to the fiancé's face every day like they were besties. When it blew up, she told everyone the fiancé was paranoid and insecure. Literally the same playbook. I had to pause the message. I was sitting there, mouth open. She played the victim, made it a whole HR situation. Quit before they could fire her. Then went online and said she left because of toxic work culture. It was wild. I messaged Carly back. Are you absolutely sure it's the same Alina? She sent me a picture. A group photo from the store's holiday party. Same face. Same smirk. Same signature winged liner. It was her. My stomach dropped. This woman didn't just accidentally cross a line. She didn't just develop feelings for someone else's man. She had a pattern. A history of playing innocent until receipts dropped, then vanishing, rebranding, and repeating. I asked Carly, did she ever show any kind of guilt? Carly replied, no. She actually bragged once. Said, it's not my fault if I'm more interesting than someone's fiancé. Like it was a flex. I couldn't breathe for a second. 'Cause all this time, I was treating her like a one-off problem. A bad apple. A mistake in judgment. But she wasn't just bad news. She was a tornado with mascara. I told Ryan everything that Carly said. He was shook. So she's literally been running the same script for years? Looks like it. That's disturbing. We didn't know what to do with the info. I didn't want to gossip just for the sake of it, but I also knew if I didn't say something, she'd just do it again. Somewhere else. To someone else. So I sent the screenshots and voice note to Josh. Didn't add commentary. Just dropped them and said, this is who she really is. He didn't reply right away. But the next day he texted me. I needed that. Thank you. That's all he said. But I knew what it meant. He filed for divorce officially that week. And Alina? Well, word got around. Apparently, one of her old co-workers from that boutique also caught wind and posted a cryptic TikTok. When the same girl ruins 2 relationships and still plays victim, she was tagged in the comments. Someone screenshotted it and sent it to me with, is this the same Alina? Yes. Yes it is. So where's she now? From what I heard, she moved to another city. Started over. New Instagram. New aesthetic. New name on LinkedIn. But same game. Josh is back in therapy, working on himself. I'm proud of him, honestly. He could have stayed in denial. But he didn't. Ryan and I now stronger than ever. Because nothing bonds a couple like surviving an attempted homewrecker sister-in-law drama spiral. And me? I'm good. I learned to listen to my gut. I learned not to shrink when someone tries to make you feel crazy for calling out bad behavior. And most of all, I learned that silence might keep the peace, but truth keeps you sane. So here we are, months later. Josh finalized the divorce. Quietly, no announcement, no big family dinner to unpack it. Just a text to me that said, "It's done. I'll never ignore your gut again." I cried a little when I read that. And Ryan, if there was ever a test of trust in a marriage, this was it. And he passed it like he had the cheat codes. He never blamed me, never told me to drop it, never got defensive. He just stood beside me, quiet, calm, consistent. "I married you, not your brother's wife," he said once, when I thanked him for not letting Alina mess with our heads. "I know," I told him, "but people buckle under less." He laughed. "Well, I'm not people. King behavior, honestly." And Alina? She faded, like perfume after a storm. Still out there somewhere, I'm sure. Still spinning new stories. Still waiting for the next person to believe she's the misunderstood one. But not me. Not anymore. Funny thing is, she was so convinced I was jealous of her. Like that was the only possible explanation for why I didn't trust her. "You're obsessed with me," she said once. No, girl. I was obsessed with protecting my peace. Because it turns out, there's nothing more infuriating to a manipulator than someone who sees them clearly and still walks away. And I didn't just walk away. I walked away with every screenshot, every receipt, every ounce of my self-respect intact. So if you're in a situation like this, where someone's gaslighting you, twisting your words, painting you as jealous while they cross every boundary in the book, here's what I'll say. Trust your gut. Keep your cool, but don't stay silent. And when the time comes to speak, don't yell. Just show the receipts. Let them dig their own grave. Then hand them the shovel. Anyway, I'm off to burn some sage, sip on a caramel macchiato, and rewatch Inventing Anna for the 1000th time. Because watching a con artist crash and burn, it just never gets old.